And our guests on this segment, we have Shana Pilman. See, I told you. All right. And Eric Rolen with Youth Services of Tulsa. Welcome to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad you could make it. First of all, for the benefit of folks who might not know, define Youth Services of Tulsa. What is it?
Youth Services of Tulsa is a nonprofit organization in Tulsa. We work with adolescents ages 12 and young adults to age 24 in a variety of services, counseling. We work with runaway and homeless youth. We have an emergency shelter, and then also health education, and then counseling, which includes family counseling, reentry counseling, and then substance abuse counseling.
But business is brisk, isn't it?
It is. It's
Yeah.
very busy.
Lots of folks need help, don't they?
Yes.
Eric, what do you work primarily in?
The Substance Abuse Department.
How?
Well, I'm the coordinator of the Substance Abuse Services at Youth Services. So we receive referrals from justice-involved youth, the schools, the community partners, and then families themselves. So we assess and then may recommend counseling or treatment for those individuals.
I don't know whether to ask you how long the line is, or is business brisk. I have a feeling it's the latter, or maybe both.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are very busy with substance abuse work that we do. I mean, that's a positive thing, that we're addressing some issues that may have been unseen before, but unfortunately, yeah, it's still an issue in the community.
You know, as I was driving to Claremore this morning, I heard an interview with some folks on NPR.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about the opioid crisis that is here. I mean, we have it here.
Right.
I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, we do. And the fellow talking said, according to the latest statistics, if you are able to survive initial therapy and exist in the treatment program for 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
you have an 85% chance of recovery. That's 85%. That doesn't say 100%. So this is going to be something they're going to have to live with.
Right, that's correct. Some of the research shows the best outcomes are between that 3 and 5 year mark of consistent treatment. So where maybe 20 years ago we were thinking we can address this issue in 6 months, really found to be that that's not the case.
You know, this begs the question, how did we get into this shape? Where did this come from? I mean, that all of a sudden we wake up one day and we've got children in crisis in all areas of the economic level. And how did it happen? Who pushed the button?
I think there are many contributing factors that play into any epidemic, whether you're looking at a disease such as substance abuse, or if you're looking at a more traditional disease. So, you know, cuts to funding for prevention and education certainly, you know, don't help the problem. Denial, you know, that this can't happen to me. And then I think, you know, what we found out is overprescribing a medication to a population that may not need it.
Mm-hmm. And because they're young and without counseling at that point, off they go.
Right.
Holy Toledo. Well, I'd be curious to know your success rate there. Can you shed any light on that?
It depends on what department you're talking about. You know, for our reentry program, which treats juveniles who come out of placement that have been adjudicated or, you know, charged with a crime. And I think the national average is somewhere of recidivism rates about between 30 and 50, and our program has reduced that to about 11 or 12% recidivism rate.
That's a marked improvement.
Yeah, it's pretty significant.
Still a lot of kids hurting.
Right.
How long have you been with them?
I've been with Youth Services for 8 years. So I've done home-based and then clinic-based counseling services.
Explain the difference for us.
Home-based services, we have contracts with the state and go out and work with kids that are like on probation. And then also office-based is we have offices in Broken Arrow, Owasso, and Glenpool. So we kind of reach those outlying offices, and families and individuals come in and we work on a short-term counseling, usually 6 to 8 sessions, or can even be like through the school year and work on a variety of issues, such as anxiety, depression, adjustment, bullying, all sorts of issues.
I would think, and this is just, an amateur's assessment here, but I would think that the home visit side of it has to be a little bit dangerous for you, isn't it?
I mean, it could be, but we receive training, and I think it's always kind of like follow your gut. And it's one of those things of when you go into the home, you get to the nitty gritty right away. Like they can't hide it when they're in the office, and so also there's more availability for family members, and so more people are involved. I think counseling works best when you look at it from a systemic perspective. So when everybody's involved, and so kind of that home setting kind of allows that to happen more quickly, and so that change kind of happens more rapidly, and then you can kind of implement it in the home quicker.
It strikes me that we live in perilous times. I don't recall in my lifetime ever hearing of the high percentage of youngsters who have to rely on government subsidized meals just to get a meal a day. And that's common now. Right. Economics has to play a role. And these kids have to get their cash from somewhere. What are you finding? How are they affording to get whatever it is they're hooked on?
So, a number of things can take place. You can obviously turn to crime as a means of income, so illegal activities, theft, burglary, selling drugs, selling firearms. There are a number of ways for young people or adults out there to earn money illegally.
So then it's like the chicken and egg story. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And in this case, what came first, the problem or the theft? How do you attack it?
Well, I think it's a case-by-case situation. So sometimes you're dealing with a multi-generational problem and behavior and situation that has been ingrained multi-generations. Other times you're dealing with maybe a mental health issue that's in place that could be stabilized, and then the need to self-medicate with other substances might diminish. Sometimes it's as simple as increasing the positive pro-social skills, and the delinquent behaviors start to fall. So each individual person is unique, and each individual solution is unique.
As you work with folks, are you comfortable with your success rate at helping them steer back to a proper course, or is there more that remains to be done?
Well, I think there's always more to be done because the world's changing. I think we live in a world with technology where that changes than when I was a kid. Social media helps just explode things in regards to all of that. And I think just working with the kids, and then
Well, I think you'd mentioned economics, and I think in the economic times that we are in, and the funding that's available, and the limited resources, very proud of what Youth Services does and the outcomes that we have with what we have to work with. As Shana said, there's always more to do, and in a more efficient way. And so we want to be evidence-based, use practices that have been proven to be effective, and we want to be efficient.
We have less than 2 minutes remaining. Someone out there might think, you know what, I could use their help. How do they take advantage of it? What do they do?
Well, they can go to our website. It's yst.org. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We have accounts on there. Or they can call our main number, which is 918-582-0061. And that can connect us with all the services too. Also, if a youth is at risk or in danger, they can access Safe Place. That's at the Quick Trips, EMSA, a fire station, the libraries. And that can get them immediate help if they're in crisis at that time.
You say immediate, is this a 24-hour thing?
Yep, so they just need to walk in and say they need a safe place, and the facility will hook them up with a volunteer and then take them to our shelter and get
Do you
them
work
help.
with adults as well? in the
We work
family?
with homeless youth ages 18 to 24.
Okay, but if the families are somehow involved, if the mother and father or father, are you able to analyze that and then bring help to them as well?
If the client ages 18 to 24 wants them involved in like counseling services or something, we're definitely more than willing to have them involved and then connect them.
Youth Services of Tulsa doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. Up next, a little turning can result in art if you know what you're doing when we come back.